Hi guys, so today I'm going to be answering some of your questions on stoma reversals. So I get so many DMs from people asking me, what's it like to have a stoma reversal, things like that. And I just thought, well, why don't I do a video, and if there's anything that I haven't covered on here, then feel free to DM me and I will answer as much as I can more. Remember, everybody is different though, so I will be answering from my personal experience. So obviously those of you that are watching, or those of you that know I'm about to do the stoma reversal video, I put up a post like, right, I want loads of questions that you guys want to know about having reversal, and I had loads, so I've got them all wrote down and I'm ready to go through them one by one. So hopefully I can cover as much as I can, but as I said, just DM me if there's something in here something that's not in here, sorry. So for me, those of you that know me and know my story will know I was misdiagnosed for 7 years. So my stoma that was put on my body, I actually didn't have any sort of warning. This just happened because of where I collapsed and I was seriously ill. So obviously I would say for me, having that stoma, I was very, very ill. I was in intensive care. They didn't think I was gonna survive. I was in a wheelchair for about 4 months, and that was just because I was so underweight. I couldn't even lift my head. There was one time in hospital when the nurse, she actually lifted me up to put me on the scales, and all I remember is waking up on the floor, and then I started crying like, I don't want to go back into intensive care, please don't send me back there, because there were a few times where they decided that it might have been best that I went back to intensive care as I was just so ill. So when that happened, I actually had a fit and collapsed on the floor, and my cousin was there as well, and she had to press the red button to get more nurses to come and help. And my nurse, bless her, she was crying. We still talk to this day. She's such a nice nurse, and yeah, she started crying because she felt so bad, but obviously it wasn't her fault. I was just seriously ill. So the whole thing for me with the stoma the first time round, I actually was out for about 6 months, I'd say. I started to go back to the gym after 6 months, and we literally did the lightest of back works, because back, as soon as you get your back strong, that's the main part that you need for strength, really. So yeah, that was a long time for me. That took about 6 months. So when I had my reversal, however, I think I was out of it for about 4 to 8 weeks. It wasn't even long. And actually, as soon as I had the reversal, I was still up and about walking around the hospital, and I did walk to town and stuff like that, even though I wasn't allowed. So don't do that, please don't do that. Follow the rules, guys. But it took me about I live like 10 minutes away, and it took me a good like 50 minutes to get there. But compared to the first time round, yeah, it was so much quicker, the recovery time. Nope, I was actually really, really lucky. I didn't have any complications at all. What I will say, which isn't actually a complication, it's just something that happens for some people. When I had the reversal, your bowel can take a few days to move. Now mine didn't want to move, and it got to like day 5 and my bowel's like, I ain't moving, girl. So then they had to put a tube down my throat because I was just being sick constantly, and this tube stopped me being sick, and actually it pushed, I'm assuming, on my bowel. And yeah, there we go. I mean, it was a blow off, and it wasn't just a blow off, it was a blow off and poo, but it was like the best feeling ever. Yes, I am. I am on azathioprine, which is a chemo med. I know a lot of people on this medication don't like it, and I know it's, for some people it causes hair loss and things like that. And actually, I don't know, but my hair has grown longer, so I don't want to jinx it, like touch wood it stays like that. But yeah, I actually don't have any side effects on this, and I'm really grateful for that. So yeah, and at the moment it's working. I'm also on infliximab infusions, which I have every 8 weeks, and yeah, that seems to be working as well. Hopefully my nurse is now going to narrow my time from 4 hours to 1 hour just sitting there, because it does get boring when you've got to sit with a drip in your arm for 4 hours. But yeah, I'm just grateful that these medications are working, because I know that a lot of people have tried so many meds and nothing works for them. So I am truly grateful. So yeah, I actually felt wow. Obviously you feel sick and stuff when you're on all that medication in the hospital, but when I got home I felt, you know, a lot better. I was a little bit wary on foods because I know with a stoma bag I could eat everything, but I knew that with, you know, my intestine being back inside my body there was a little bit of a risk. So yeah, I was a little bit wary, but overall I did feel wow. uh, I'm going to answer that question in a second with the toilet because there is some other people that have asked the same question. But with the risks, I mean, yeah, having a stoma reversal, there is the risk that, you know, it's not going to work and you may end up still having a stoma, or you may have, you know, the reversal and then in a few months' time it's just not working out and you will have to have another bag. And, you know, that's the risk you take. That's up to you if you want to take it. You know, everybody is their own person, and what you do, there is no right or wrong. You have to listen to your body and follow your heart, and you need to do what is best for you. My neighbour 2 doors down, weirdly enough, had a bag. She's got Crohn's, and she had her reversal and woke up and actually had another bag put in. And, you know, that was just for a few extra months, and then she had it fully reversed. So you just don't know. So yeah, there are always risks, but, you know, just be aware and ask your surgeon, you know, so you know everything for sure beforehand. Everybody is different, you know. Some of us have really watery poos, some of us have really hard poos, some of us are in between. I vary, you know, I have a bit of all. I definitely 1000% go to the toilet every time after I've had a meal. That's without fail at all. About 10 to 20 minutes after, I need to go to the toilet, and, you know, that is just what I've got to do. If I'm out in public and there isn't a toilet, I'm gonna find a bush and I'm gonna go in the bush. I always carry tissues on me. I know that sounds so disgusting, but honestly, I haven't got a control over it, and it happens after every single meal. But I would say, personally, for me, that's about the only time I really need to go. And, you know, sometimes it can be runny depending on the food, and sometimes I'm on there more than I should be because of the food. And I think it's just a food trigger for me that will make me go more. So yeah, I don't really go there as much as, you know, some people though. So I would say definitely after each meal, but sometimes more depending on what I've eaten. My health is so much better. Obviously, those of you again that follow me and my story know that back then I was tiny, I was so ill, I was misdiagnosed for 7 years, I had so much pain. Like, I generally thought, how can I live like this forever? I generally got to that point of thinking like that because I didn't realise that, like, I just thought, is this life? Surely this isn't life. So yeah, my life has been so much better since I had the stoma bag and since I've had the reversal, because yeah, even though it came back, which was rubbish, I'm on meds and at the moment it's being controlled. I don't really know what you mean by this one, sorry. If I'm going by, my surgery was 3.5 hours for the reversal, and my recovery for the reversal was 1000% quicker than the first one. Obviously, as you know, I was out for like half a year. So if that's what you mean, that is my answer to that. Yeah, I was running to the toilet because, and I have to tell everybody this, please guys, do this, because, you know, if you don't do it, you're in trouble. You need to make sure you do your pelvic floors before you have a reversal. You know, pelvic floor exercises. The stoma nurses should give you a piece of paper, like in a leaflet, with all the exercises they want you to do before your reversal. Please do them. I didn't do them, and I suffered for it after my reversal because I did not have any strength down there. And you know what? I if it was coming out, that's it. It was coming out. I couldn't control it. So now I'm very big. You know, I was always into fitness of dancing and stuff, but I'm very big into the gym, and I do a lot of my pelvic floors and stuff now because of this, and I've got way stronger, which is good. But I really felt that after my operation, because I didn't do them before. So yeah, I was constantly running to the toilet. There are times where, like I said before about going to the toilet after the meals, there's times where I'm out, and so there's been situations where I've been out and, you know what, I've needed the toilet, and especially in a pandemic like that we're in at the moment, there was nowhere for me to go, and I needed to go. And so I went in a bush had tissue obviously and sanitizer. And you know, it's not very nice to have to go in a bush, but when you're desperate and when you have, you know, a bowel problem that you can't control, there's no point in holding it in, because honestly guys, it's like so much worse for you to hold it in. So yeah, it varies. And something that I also want to add is always carry a little pseudo cream with you, or barrier cream. I always carry a baby pseudo cream, and she's in my bag in case I ever need her, because your bum can get quite sore if you're pooing quite a lot. So I can understand why you would be frustrated, because you've built up, you know, you're nervous as it is, and you've built it yourself up and you get ready, and then they come in and say, sorry, it'll be tomorrow, and then you do it again, and then it's sorry, it'll be tomorrow, and then so I know anxiety plays, and it's a big factor. My anxiety was horrendous before my reversal. I actually got told it was going to be 6 months to a year, and then they'd make the decision if I could have the reversal. And I remember, it's like you just blank it out. I just heard 6 months in my you know, out of my surgeon's mouth, even though he said 6 to 12 months. I'm hearing 6 months. So it got to 6 months, and I'm in his office like, right, let's plan the reversal. And he said, no, you're not ready yet. And it literally, I remember coming out crying, and my whole day was ruined because I had psyched myself up so much that I was having it done. So, you know, it really upset me. So I understand that 5 days in a row when you're so close to the finish line and it's getting taken away from you. But what I want to say is, don't get your hopes up. So don't do what I did and be like, yes, it's happening in 6 months' time. Don't. What will be, what will be. Everything happens for a reason. The timing is never wrong. The timing is always right. For whatever reason, the universe wants to do this for you. And, you know, if it isn't your time right now, it isn't your time. Don't get disheartened. It's for your own good. And, you know, I had to be a lot stronger, and I'm grateful for my surgeon to do that for me, because I could have been a lot worse in the long run. So yeah, I don't want you guys to get disheartened if you've been promised a time and then you go there and they say no. It will happen. Just take time with it. Be patient. And, you know, anxiety is a big thing. Before my surgery, I got so scared, so nervous because of what happened the first time. I just had all these thoughts, I'm going to die and things like that. So yeah, I tried to meditate. I tried to get a lot of my crystals. I tried to script and stuff and just say it's all going to be okay. And I think that that for me is very comforting. So if you need to find what's comforting for you and do that, you know, up to your reversal. I have a ICA, which is this long word that I actually can't pronounce, so I'm hoping that this is not backwards right now for you guys to see, but we're going to call it the IRA because that's all I can say, to be honest. I can't pronounce the word. So yeah, I have that, and that is just literally my intestine is been put back or fused together, however they do it, to the other part of my intestine, and I still have my rectum, okay? I know a JPOUCH means that you don't have your rectum, I believe. I'm still kind of learning more on a JPOUCH. I've asked a few of my friends online that have JPOUCHs just to be more educated on it, but I don't really want to touch base on that when I'm not too confident with it and I don't have one, because I don't want to be out here giving out the wrong facts. But if any of you are, you know, have been told you're going to have JPOUCH, feel free to DM me and I'll put you in contact with somebody that does have a JPOUCH. But if you're going to have what I had, which is an IRA, then it is literally just your intestine fused back to the other bit of your intestine that's in your body. So that is what kind of reversal I had. No, I do not regret having a reversal, because if I didn't have my reversal, I would have lived the rest of my life thinking, what if I could have had the chance to maybe had it reversed and lived healthily, you know, what if? I always had I in all honesty, I really don't know how on earth I was even allowed to have a reversal, because from the seriousness of what happened to me, you know, I had kidney failure, sepsis, I went blind, I literally, my intestines, it was just the whole situation. I wasn't even supposed to be here, bear in mind. So for them to have poured my mum into a room to say you need to prepare for the worst because she's not going to come back, and then me to have a reversal. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm really grateful for this, but for how extreme it was, I'm so lucky. Like, I am overly lucky, and I will never stop being grateful for that and to have the opportunity. So I think that's partly the reason that I wanted my reversal. You know, I wanted to have a chance to see if I could live life now without it, because I didn't even know I had Crohn's until I was misdiagnosed, and you know, the operation that gave me the stoma was what told everybody that's what I had. So I think if I didn't have the reversal, I would be living in a what if sort of mentality. And I also needed to, you know, psych myself up to have the reversal because of the trauma from the first operation. And I don't like being where I'm not in control of something. I hate it so much. So I had my, you know, on my stoma reversal, I literally nearly pulled out. I actually sat with two nurses when they pulled me down into the room and said, no, I'm really sorry, I've changed my mind, I'm not going to have my reversal, I'm just going to keep the stoma bag, because I was that terrified. And they were like, no, it's fine. And they rang my mum, and they actually had her in the room where they put the anaesthetic in you. I mean, if I have to have a stoma bag in the future, then fair enough, but at least I had the chance to see if I could live a life without one. So that's why I don't regret having a reversal. It is generally after every meal, for definite, and sometimes more depending on diet and stuff and what I've eaten. But actually, when you have your reversal, you know the triggers, and you know what's coming, and you know your body, so you learn to learn what your body likes and what's going to aggravate you and what's not. I also want to say, obviously, after the reversal, I did live a life like for about 4 months of no pain, and it was amazing. And then obviously the flare-up came back, so well, the Crohn's, and obviously this flare-up was, I had 35 centimetres removed of my small intestine, and it came back 40 centimetres long, so it's actually longer than the first time. And you know, it wasn't until then that my surgeon had said to me, if stuff like this keeps happening, you know, in the end, there's only so much we can take from somebody, you know, like out of your body, and you would probably end up with a liquid diet for the rest of your life. And that to me is what like really was like, whoa, I love food. Like, being on a liquid diet, I just couldn't imagine for the rest of my life. And that's how serious Crohn's and colitis can be. And I think people don't really know how extreme it can end up being for somebody if they've not, you know, if they're not in that position. People just think, oh, you have Crohn's or colitis, you just shit a lot. No, it's a lot more than that. And you know, a lot of us have had near death experiences, and that is because of, you know, how far it's got. And people don't realize the extent of that and how scary it can be. You know, I mean, after the stuff that happened to me, I was sat there like, why didn't I see my granddad and all the scary things? And I started to research on like life after death and what happens when you die. It really scared me. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, you know, of course this illness can be controlled, but at the same time there's cases where it can't be as well. So yeah, and I think, you know, we all just have to remember to stay positive. This is, you know, something that's a bit, this is rubbish that we have this, but actually it's made us better people. We see life, you know, in a new light, and we're so appreciative of things that, you know, that come our way. And I just think health is so important, and you all need to look after your bodies and look after yourself. So if there's any other questions that any of you want to know that I haven't covered, or maybe I haven't explained it properly, or you want it a little bit more explained, feel free to message me and I will reply. Or if, again, like I said, you are one of those that have been told you're going to have JPOUCH surgery, and you don't know anyone with a JPOUCH, you can just DM me again and I'll put you in contact with someone that does have a JPOUCH. I hope you enjoyed this, and I really hope this helped answer some of your questions. And remember, just because I've had this experience doesn't mean that you will. Everybody is different and we all have our own experiences, so just remember that. Love ya!